Hey, I'm Susanna Bouquet, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences I had through the Writer's Craft course. When I first started this semester, I considered myself an average writer who had only written a short story or two in my lifetime. I basically only wrote for English assignments and a little bit for fun, but other than that, I wished I had more time to practice my skills. As a result, while looking for courses to apply for, I saw Writer's Craft, and I was immediately drawn to the idea of learning more about creative writing. I jumped at the chance to find out more, even though I'm not planning a future in writing. I was a little enthusiastic about writers in that I didn't like the idea of having deadlines on creative pieces of work. I also felt intimidated at first because I knew so little about the art of it. As the course progressed, though, I began to realize that every single assignment we had had so far, I had loved writing and enjoyed writing. It didn't seem like a burden to me to complete the stories or paragraphs because I loved each one. The concepts were understandable and presented in such a way that I knew exactly what was expected of me. After working on all my other courses, I used Writer's Craft as a sort of reward because I was then allowed to use my imagination and use the skills I had learned with my words. I was surprised by the amount of techniques and approaches used in writing, and I learned that there is so much more creativity than simply finding the right words. I needed to work hard to create a tone and a mood with my words that really reflected what I felt inside. I was challenged to come up with original ideas and avoiding stereotypes like Miss Pick told us. I found out just how many stereotypes there were, and I tried hard to find interesting alternatives. Coming towards the end of the semester, I looked back and I realized that my writing has actually changed and grown. When I first wrote assignments, Miss Pick was quick to point out that my approach was expository and I was telling more than showing. It was difficult to switch my approach and completely focus on showing emotion and making the readers feel that emotion. I had to be my own worst critic, who found fault in any area where I was being formal or uninteresting. The most rewarding part was finally finishing revising a piece and taking a step back to admire what I had accomplished. Some pieces have had to have small revisions, and others I needed to start completely over, but the finished piece was so worth it to see. For the first time, I was actually proud of the written pieces I had made, and I showed them for the first time to my family. Although I will miss this course and the enjoyment I got out of the creation of my pieces, I am so glad I learned how to become more vulnerable in my writing and how to express my emotions more. Although I'm going into sciences for post-secondary school and will not be focusing on writing, I'm glad for the experience that helped me practice these skills as a writer.